What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy Mckenzie Jr. I told you we was gonna be here. I told you we was gonna be here, and it's on today. Like Kevin Hart said, it's about to go down because we are here. Y'all see my partner. Y'all know what it is. It's the 5-star customer service. So we here talking to you. We're talking to you all the way up to our upcoming workshop, and I'm gonna let Tonia introduce tell y'all about that. But we're here today. We're gonna be talking about what else? Customer service, and how to be able to deliver 5-star customer service because we are on a mission. We are on a mission come April the 30th to make sure that those of you that have already registered, because I know y'all, I know everybody's watching and listening, they didn't already register, so we ain't even got to worry about it. We ain't even got to worry about it. But for those that might not have, let's just say might not have, they just might not have, we're gonna give y'all the link that'll be in the comments as well, where you can go. You can register for the workshop. It's just a 1-day workshop. We're gonna give you all the tools. We're gonna give you all hopefully some knowledge, some resources that you'll be able to use in order to be able to implement them and deliver that 5-star customer service that we know that you all want to be able to deliver to your clients, your customers that you all have. I'm Dr. Leroy Mckenzie Jr., President, CEO of J&F Enterprises, business consulting, and a book publishing consultant as well. And we are here today, and I'm gonna let my partner introduce herself. But we're here today to just talk to you all, just for a little bit, give you all just some tidbits, which you all can expect at the workshop that we're gonna be having. So we're gonna get started in a minute. Tonia, you want to introduce yourself to the peoples?
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, you guys, we're excited that you're tuning in. But my name is Tonia Lewis. I am the CEO of T&L Custom and Strategic Solutions. And pay attention, I emphasize custom because I customize solutions for your needs, right? I am a business and development consultant. I am a 2-time published author, but I consider myself an impact strategist. That simply means I want to make an impact in your business to change your perspective on the way you do business when it comes to service. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here with the doctor, none other than the doctor. We've had some excellent conversation, and he's just as passionate about business and how to deliver service in your business properly. Because in order for your business to be successful, you got to have a level of service, not only that you provide to yourself, your employees, but guess what? You have to provide a certain level of service to your business to keep it in business. So I'm super excited about having this conversation with you, Dr. Mckenzie.
All right, Tonia. So how you want to start this? How you want to start this off? We can talk a little bit about what they can expect, or we can go into kind of like the things that just a couple of the topic that we decided that each of us would kind of talk about.
Right.
Because
we can start.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We can start anywhere. The question I want to ask everybody, and I want everybody to self-evaluate: does your service suck? That's
where we start right there.
Logistics of the conversation. We want you to tap in and see where you're sucking at and where we can actually help you get from that unstuck place so you won't be in a sucky place, right? So wherever we start, it's fine. We're just simply talking about whether you suck. So we want to ask a question so that when we get off this live, it'll hopefully help you want to participate in this workshop, because all of us can stand in the need of improvement. But if you don't know what you're doing, how can you improve something that you don't actually pay attention to, right? Because sometimes it be little things that we miss, right? That we could have possibly either deviated from, did a little better to improve the service that we're not only providing to ourselves, but to our business and to the people that we're going to bring a part of our team. So we're going to talk a little bit about I want Mr. McKenzie to talk about that 8 common mistakes that he was talking about that sometimes businesses don't pay attention to. And it's easy to lose sight of that because you're so caught up in the flow of trying to operate your business that you can miss some of those things, or you don't have time to actually follow up on what's going on in your business. So we're going to talk about just a little bit of a few things, just to encourage you to, participate in the workshop so you can get that, that deep dive into what it means to actually properly not only service yourself, but service your business in a way that you will separate yourself from the rest. So I'm gonna let Mr. McKenzie start telling us, because I'm excited about these 8 common mistakes that people make, in business. I've been waiting for this all day. So back to you, Mr. McKenzie.
Yeah, this has been something that I think that when we get into it, I think that folks tend to just kind of, like you said, nonchalantly just kind of overlook. They overlook the customer service aspect, and don't get me started, because there's so many, I believe, companies that have gone away from it, and especially the Fortune 500 companies. It doesn't seem to be a priority to them.
Absolutely.
I think we talked a couple of days ago. I was telling you about or maybe no, it was actually the last time. I think we did the live last week. About Delta Airlines and the poor customer service that my cousin had encountered with them, not having pilots to fly their planes.
Right.
Not enough pilots. I'm gonna say that again for y'all. Not having enough pilots to fly their planes, and delayed the flights that were already flying. Evidently, they flew to one particular destination, but then the connecting flight didn't have a pilot. Who does that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know if I ever told you this story, Tonia, but this was some years ago when I was opening a hotel. Right, I was part of the opening management team, so we were working with built up from the ground up, right? So we're handling all of the construction and making sure the construction is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Tanya, this gonna make you gonna fall out of your chair. Hold on to your chair. Hold on to your chair. They come to me one day, myself and the GM at the time, because I was the assistant general manager, and they tell us we made a mistake. The elevator shaft, which is where the elevator goes into, was not big enough to fit the shaft into. So I had to stop. And I said, wait a minute. I said, say that again. I said, wait a minute, say it again. They said, yeah, the elevator shaft, which is, the where the elevator gets put into, was not big enough for the elevator to fit into. And I'm like, okay, how does that happen?
Right.
How does that happen? Who was the engineer? Who was the architect that did this? And I think I don't even remember all of the dynamics of it, but the GM, I don't know if she talked with the with the engineers or whoever it was that had to fix the you can't do anything about the actual shaft, because then you'd have to redo the whole building. So they then had to find a elevator that could fit into that particular shaft, because the dimensions, it has to be dimensionally correct,
right,
in order for it to work. I'm sitting there, I said, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, how do you not? I mean, like I said, you have to have the measurements. The elevator shaft is this big. The elevator has to be maybe like a half size smaller so that it can fit in.
Right.
It has to be able to fit. I was done. I was like, I've never had that happen. I've never seen that before in my life. And I was just like, wow. So yeah.
That's
Needless to say, of course, we're working on a deadline, because we have to open. So and if I remember, correct, I think it did delay our opening of the hotel because of, because of them having to find a new elevator, a new elevator
Right.
to go inside and everything like that. But customer service, customer service.
And that comes from poor planning. That comes from poor planning and lack of follow-up. Simple.
Just,
And
not, and actually really that, but really like you said, not paying attention. Because
not paying attention to detail.
You couldn't have been paying attention if the dimensions of the shaft were not dimension, and the elevator weren't dimensionally correct for it to
Absolutely.
to go in. Somebody missed their job in looking at to make sure that that the numbers were accurate and that they were correct. But let me get to this list. Let me get to this list. These 8 common mistakes. So if you ever build in a hotel, you certainly want to make sure that the elevator shaft is not too big for the elevator. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. You might want to check that out. If you're an architect, you're drawing up the blueprint, you might want to check that to make sure.
That's right. You may want to join the workshop.
Right. Or before you order the elevator, you might want to check the dimensions of it. Make sure you just might want to check those numbers. I'm just saying, you just might want to, it might help you out a little bit. But okay, 8 common customer service mistakes and how to avoid them. That's what I saw. Okay, so and these are in order. They just have them in the order here. 1, and I want you to comment on these too, what you think of them. Okay. Not providing adequate training for your agents, which I think is very true. And training is important. Training is very important when it comes to how people know what to do. When it comes to certain things, if they don't know a process or procedure of doing something, they can be lost or just anything like that. So it's important about having adequate training, i.e. they can come to the Delivering 5-star workshop, 5-star customer service workshop and get some of that training there you can get that there. So that's 1. 2.
Absolutely.
2 is not being proactive with your customers. Can you hear me, Tony? Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's number 2, being proactive.
I didn't hear you.
No, I was saying number 2 is being proactive with your customers.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now? It might be a delay.
Right. And can I elaborate? Elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think it might be a delay.
Let me elaborate on that a little bit. First, number one, the training aspect of it. It is so vital that people take time to invest in training, because what training does, it prepares you to be able to handle any obstacles, objections that you may have with your clientele, be able to not get so emotionally caught up. And if you have, you get that constructive feedback from your clientele. It also teaches you how to actually be able to deal with people. Because believe it or not, people don't understand the different personalities that they're going to be encountering, whether they're working inside of their organization or whether they're coming in their door. And training helps you understand the different personalities and the different people that you're going to be, conducting business with. So when they come in your organization, you'll be able to identify what you're dealing with. You won't waste your time offering a product and service to somebody that actually their personality don't align with the way you're selling that product to them. You see what I'm saying? And also it helps you when a lot of people don't know how to effectively communicate. A lot of people don't know how to effectively listen. That goes back to those soft skills. Training helps you with those soft skills to be able to engage with your clientele as well as your employees. So I'm big on training, not just for your people, but for yourself, on how to properly structure, how to properly position people in your organization, how to properly deliver your products and services. The training aspect is so fundamental, and people don't think they need any training, but guess what? You do.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't know how to conduct business properly. Everybody don't know how to structure the business properly. Everybody don't know how to deliver customer service. Because I say it all the time, and I'm gonna let you go on with your tips. But if you don't know how to properly service yourself, how can you service somebody else? If you are sucking to yourself, guess what your customer is gonna experience? The same attitude you feel about you, the same attitude you wake up in the morning. Guess what? You're gonna display it to that customer when he comes in. If you always late, guess what? You're gonna be late taking that customer payment. If you know what I'm saying? If you don't show up, guess what? Don't expect your customers to show up and pay you. But you know what I'm saying? Oh, but it helps you understand how to maneuver through those obstacles that you're going to face when you're doing business. And the second thing you say is being proactive. Oh my God. Even though you may be a single person or solopreneur, right? Mm-hmm. You have got to make sure you're proactive in your thinking process, because anybody that's going in business should be going in business to expand your business. If you're not proactively thinking about what you're going to need or what you're going to have or who you're going to be hiring, and even if you decide not to bring anybody in your establishment, right? If for some reason you get swamped with orders, you get swamped with merchandise, getting your merchandise out, whatever the case may be, what type of systems do you have in place to get these things accomplished? You can't do it by yourself. Right. Do you have you vetted people to outsource some of these responsibilities? You see what I'm saying? Have you vetted people to contract these people to be able to get out and handle what you got going? But I just want to say that, and I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead. You get me all hyped up by this stuff. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. I mean, those are great points that you brought up. Here's one, and this is a big one: not being available for customers.
But you first got to be available for yourself. How available are you to you? Right? Now, I think from my mindset, I think from a different perspective.
Okay.
And a lot of people tell me all the time, Miss Tonia, where do you come up with this stuff? See, my mind is way out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's good or bad, but I think from a different perspective. And I always turn it back onto yourself, because you have to evaluate yourself when you're trying to start a business. When you're trying to deal with people, you have to always self-analyze, right? If I'm not available for me, that means taking time to make sure that I am, intact. Mm-hmm. How can I be available for somebody else? I don't even respect my time getting to work on time, right? I don't even respect organization in my business. You see what I'm saying? All of that plays a factor. So, oh God, I'm gonna let you go ahead on, because that's a whole
I mean, seriously, that's a pet peeve of mine, because I think of too many of like I said, the big companies, Fortune 500 companies. Technology is a good thing, but I think you need to have a personal aspect.
Absolutely.
To your business. And these companies outsourcing their customer service, and you get you get a customer service agent that is not even in the same country that you're in.
Absolutely.
And you can't understand them, they can't understand you. There's that language barrier that's that's there. And it's to me, it's crucial, because I'm big on being able to pick up the phone and talk to someone, because everybody's issue that they might have doesn't want just be able to would click this and do that. And even banks, you get the automated, you get those automated systems. Sometimes I need to talk to a physical person, and I don't want to go through the automation, and everything like that. So being available to your customers, man, that's a huge one for me. And then we're gonna follow it up with not listening to your customers. Are you listening to your customers? Not listening to your customers.
Not listening, because we are so quick to respond. I think a lot of us listen just enough to respond. You see what I'm saying? Because you done already set up in your mind,
right,
this particular this customer already got an attitude. How do you know that person got an attitude? That may be just that person's personality, right? So we listen enough to just quickly respond. We don't take time to listen to what the person is saying, right? Dissect what they're saying. When you take time to step back a little bit and listen more, you'll be able to gain more clarity on what they're asking of you. And that gives you the opportunity to ask those open-ended questions so that you can get, clarity on what you guys are discussing. I have this rule, my rule. I got this 65-35 rule. 65% of the time, I need you to shut up and listen. And 35% of the time, then you can, open your mouth, because sometimes we talk too fast and we miss out on the opportunity to build the right relationships because we're already speaking before our turn instead of listening. I'm a big listener. I'm a big observer. I may not say much because I want to dissect the situation. I want to dissect what I'm reading. I want to dissect every aspect of it so that I can understand that, guess what? This is what they're trying to tell me, right? Or I ask an open-ended question. Is this what you're trying to say? But we don't take time to listen. So that's very important.
Yeah, and I think the old adage is God gave us one mouth and two ears for a reason. We need to be listening more than talking. So that is so true. That is very
absolutely
true, that we really do. Because when you listen, when you listen, what did I say before? When you learn to listen, you listen to, then you can listen to learn. And you can understand, like you were saying, you can understand the needs that your customers are telling you, or what that customer, what the customers that you're trying to gain, what need there is. And I look at it like this: when you listen, you understand the problem that you can solve or that you do solve. So it's important that we do listen to what our customers are telling us, because they will tell us. They're gonna tell us, what their needs are. They will.
Oh,
and it's up to us to adhere to what it is that they're telling us.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Number 5, not keeping up with your promise.
They'll tell us or they'll tell the world.
For real. So, number 5 is not keeping up with your promises. Keeping up to your promises. What do you think about that?
I think what we tend to do, we set unrealistic expectations at the jump, right? I always believe in under promise, over deliver. We set the tone of how our business is going to operate when we open our business. We set these unrealistic expectations that we know that we are not equipped at that point to fulfill those expectations. And so it causes our customers to either get disgruntled or they start complaining because you set the expectation on what time you was going to be open for business. You set the expectation on what type of service you're going to provide for the business. You set the expectation through your advertising, what your products are going to look like. You set the expectation of what your food is going to taste like. You set the expectation of how that shirt was going to fit, the cotton, whatever. You set the expectation. And so when we set the expectation at the beginning stages, right, and we start advertising that, guess what you're doing? You're telling your clientele, this is what you're going to offer them. And when you can't deliver, up to what their expectation is based on what you told them, then that's when you get unhappy clients. You get customers that are going to complain. They're going to either reach out to social outlets or wherever, because we ultimately set the expectation. I say that all the time. When you go into business, make sure your expectations are realistic. Can you actually do what you say you're going to do? Right? If you can't, and I'll stand on this, customers want to know that you can do what you can do. If I tell you, Mr. Mckenzie, right, I'm expecting this, and the third, and you done told me, I can guarantee you that. When I come to see Mr. Mckenzie, that's what I'm looking for. If Mr. Mckenzie is honest with me, hey, this is a new business, I'm just opening up. We're still trying to get everything properly structured. There may be a little longer wait time than usual. Guess what? When I get there, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to patiently wait because Mr. Mckenzie has set the expectation on what I should expect when I get to his establishment. You see what I'm saying? So it's very important that we set realistic expectations and not overpromise something that we know full well we can't deliver. That you telling the person they call you and it's only you and your shop and you trying to fix place and they want 1,500 places and it's you by yourself. And you tell them I can get it. Stop telling that lie. You know you can't. You need some help. It's very important that you set expectations, but make sure they're realistic. People hate lies.
I got a question for you. Does that apply to hairstylists in the beauty salon?
It applies to everybody. It applies in the church, baby, from the poor house to the outhouse to the White House to my house to anybody's house. Right? I don't discriminate. I think whatever your expectation is, it's your expectation. If I come home and tell my husband this is what I'm gonna do, guess what he's doing? He's expecting that. So if I don't live up to that expectation, guess what I do? I provided him poor service. You see what I'm saying? So it applies everywhere. So I tell people all the time, people say, well, customer service is just simply showing up and looking pretty and smiling. But if you smiling, but your facial expression, got an attitude, you know what I'm saying? Guess what they see? You know, that's not service. So from wherever you want to put it, that's where it applies. Whoever hit it, just hit it. It's the truth.
Does that mean the pastor need to wrap it up when he say he gonna wrap it up and not go another 20, 30 minutes?
When the pastor say, guess what, this is my last word, he need to shut up, right? You messy, Dr. McKenzie. You messy.
I'm just playing. You get messy now. I know, right? So that was number 5. Yeah, let me stop. Number 6 says not providing quick support.
Yes. That's very important when you're talking about support. So the thing about it is, you got to be specific on what type of support you're telling your customers that you're going to provide, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and I see it a lot of times, we tell people, well, I'm going to return your call in 15 minutes. I'm going to return your call in 30 minutes. I'll return your call in an hour. And here it is, 7 days. I hadn't heard from you. Then now I got to pick up the phone and call you to find out what my merchandise is. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You done lost that particular customer because now I can't trust you to deliver my merchandise on time, right? Mm-hmm. So when you're telling somebody something, make sure you'll be able to honor it. If for some reason you tell them I'm gonna call you back in 15 minutes and you cannot honor that, reach out to them, some form of fashion or whatever type of system you got in place. Reach out to that particular customer and let them know, guess what? Something came up, this happened or that happened. Guess what? They'll respect that. A customer hates to call you back when you promise them something. So it's very important that you keep your promises.
Yeah, and I think it's important to, especially as entrepreneurs and business owners, if you're on your voicemail, you see that you'll get back to someone within 24 to 48 hours, 24 to 72 hours, that you actually do that you do make sure that you connect back with them, even if it's just in such a way.
Absolutely.
I got your message. I'll be calling you, either today or tomorrow, just to touch them, to let them know. And that leads me into number 7, which says not providing omni-channel support.
Absolutely. They just want to feel that you care and that you do what you say you're going to do. It's all about the experience. Everybody wants to feel good.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yeah. That'll go a long way with that particular customer, stating that, guess what? Hey, I didn't forget about you. I appreciate you, shopping with me. I appreciate you, using my merchandise, but I want to let you know, guess what? I won't be able to get you the answer that you need within these 24 to 48 hours, but I'm still working on it. And they will respect that. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't follow up and don't say anything, what is that saying to that customer? And then when that customer go and complain, you mad. Why are you mad? You set the expectation.
Yeah. It's crucial that whatever channels of communication that you have with your customers, you want to make sure that you are responsive to them. whether it's email. If you receive an email from a customer, then you want to make sure that you follow up with the email. If it's by phone, you're talking with them on phone, then you make sure that you return their call. You return their call. If it's via social media, you certainly want to make sure that you do that, and you want to make sure that you have the proper tools in place in order to, and processes in order to respond back to them, so that you can respond back to them.
Absolutely.
You know, that's important for you to have. And number 8 is not maintaining your customers' historical data and unifying your documentation. That's a long one. That's a long one.
That means you need to get some organization in place, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we're not organized, right? And you know, and some people may get mad with me, you know, if you're not organized, you know, outside of your business, don't expect any organization, or you can't show anybody how to be organized inside the business. You see what I'm saying? Organization comes from properly planning and structuring everything that you need to do in your business. Because believe it or not, you can't expect your employees, you can't expect your customers, you can't even expect your business to operate in dysfunction, because that's basically what it is when you're not organized, when you don't have systems in place to be able to handle what you got going on. I don't care if you're a solopreneur. I don't care if you're you know, you have employees. I don't care if you know, an entrepreneur, whatever your role is in your prospective business. It's very important that you get some type of structure and organization in place to keep you abreast of what's going on. That way you'll be able to prioritize the needs of your employees, prioritize the needs of, you know, the different things that you have going on in your business, as well as be able to prioritize the needs of your clientele. But if you don't have anything in place, then it's going to be very, very hard for you to do so. And it's going to frustrate you, and it's going to overwhelm you, and it's going to cause you to want to throw your business down the toilet every single day.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we can't emphasize it enough, you know. So these are just a couple of missteps that we want, or pitfalls that we want folks to kind of be aware of. And these are the kinds of things that we're going to be dealing with and talking about in the workshop, so that you have a clear understanding of them, but then also how to avoid them, and then how to put systems and processes in place so that you don't have to, you know, have them. You know, they're not listening. You can't do anything about that. If you're not going to listen, you're not going to listen. You know, there ain't no system for not listening. That's just, you got to be attentive to what people are telling you. You know, being absent, that's something where you have to make sure that you are present, or that you have a representative, or your employees are present. And not just present, but when they are present, that like I just said, that they are listening, and they don't just kind of be condescending or just kind of standoffish to the customers or clients at that time, because you'll lose a customer real quick with that. And then of course the follow-up and follow-through is crucial to being able to maintain those customers and create loyal customers. Because I always believe you go from a potential customer to a current customer, and then a loyal customer. You know, that customer that just comes at, you know, one particular time and you let him go, or that loyal customer. That's about establishing a relationship. That's about establishing, you know, putting those systems in place where you can, you know, you're automatically following up. You can't follow up with somebody that you don't collect their data. If you don't have, you know, an email address, if you don't have a contact phone number, all of those things, and you have to have a system in place to collect that information. You know, I can't tell you how many emails that I get from Grant Cardone and some of the other emails. I'm like really? I get it, y'all, but really, 8 times a day, I got work I need to be doing, not getting emails from y'all, you know. But I mean, I get it. That's part of how they develop those loyal customers, those loyal clients that they have, because they're constantly and consistently following up on. And you just got to be consistent. You got to be consistent with
That's it.
So, you know. So I'm gonna let you what you got for us, lady. I know you got something for us.
Well, all those are some great tips. I want to give you a standing ovation because they were amazing. But I'm just going to talk about the importance of transparency. I think a lot of times we lose sight of how important transparency is in our businesses. You don't have to know everything, but when you take time to build the right relationship, right? That means you got to let people know what you need. We don't know what you need if you don't reach out and let somebody know what you need. But the key is, like I say, building the right relationship. Because I think sometimes, we lose sight of transparency because we get so caught up in I, right? I call it the I syndrome. And what the I syndrome tends to do when it comes to transparency, it hinders us from being able to foster relationships. Because no matter how you feel about people, you will need people to conduct business. I don't care how you look at it. You're going to need those internal customers to run your business. You're going to need those external customers to purchase your products and service. So get over not being able to deal with people. People is what's going to drive your business. I always say the right relationship is going to be the new currency, period. Because it's not all about what you know. The key is building the right relationships and being transparent on what you can offer them and what they can offer you, right? Both parties getting a return on investment to be able to collaborate and see how you both can benefit one another, right? Yes, I tell people all the time, when it comes to transparency, you got to be open to the idea of, communicate with your competitor. Doesn't mean that, you can't have a conversation with them because they may be using some type of processes that you may need and you may have something that they need. But once you foster that relationship, right, it'll make it easier for both parties because sometimes small businesses may not have any capital, right? But if they build the right relationship, you may be able to bargain. Hey, this is the product and service I offer. This is what you offer. How can we benefit one another, right? But that's transparency. People don't know what you got going on if you don't open your mouth and you don't try to connect with people.
Yeah.
Only thing I tell people, do your due diligence. Learn about the people that you want to partner with. Learn about the people that you want to build a relationship with, but make sure you understand clearly that you cannot conduct business without people, right? You just got to make sure you're targeting the right people to build the right relationship so you can increase the currency in your business. That's number one. Number two, when you take time to be transparent, transparency is going to strengthen the engagement. Because believe it or not, your employees want to feel connected to what you're doing. The team that you bring on want to be connected to you to be able to give you some insight, right? But if you're so focused on this I syndrome and snapping them up every minute because I am the boss, it's my business, it's on me, guess what? You'll get better because now you got people that want to be connected to you. They will start seeing the vision and have the passion for what you're trying to do because you included them in the process. So that's number two. Number three, when you start being more transparent, guess what it's going to do? It's going to foster trust. Now people are going to trust you to want to conduct business with you. I'm not going to do business with you, Dr. Mckenzie, if I can't trust you. I had to learn you. I've never met you a day in my life. We've only met on social outlets. Right? We don't know. you. If I hadn't put my picture here, you wouldn't even know me from a can of paint. You see what I'm saying? We met virtually, but we took time to learn one another, right. Make sure that you had integrity, make sure that I have integrity. We're going from the same spot and we collaborate and build a relationship. I have so many relationships built on social outlets. Never met a lot of these people in Switzerland and Canada and Africa, just everywhere. Right. And so you for just taking time to open up some dialogue and learn a little bit about people. So number three, it sets in trust. And once people will trust you, guess what they're going to do? They're going to want to partake in whatever you got going on, and they're going to sell it or offer it in a way because now they believe in the process or they believe in what you're telling them to do. They trust you now. And number four, it's going to give you the opportunity to automate being able to be relatable to the people that you are coming in contact with when it comes to your business. This means that you can create special systems or create loyalty programs, create anything to incentivize them, right? For being connected to your process. You see what I'm saying? If you got somebody that's coming to your place of business or purchasing your product, consistently all the time, these same people are purchasing your products and purchasing your services. Guess what? They want to be able to say that even though they're not in control of the products and services that you offer, but if you ask them, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, how did you feel about that? Give me your feedback on what I can do different. They're not responsible for what you're going to do, but it makes them feel like they're part of the process. Right. Hey, Mr. McKenzie asked me how I felt about that shirt he wore. He's designing the shirt. And you know what I'm saying? And guess what they're going to do? They're going to be the first one that's going to jump in line and buy what you have to offer. Because guess what? Even though you may not go with the logo that they picked out for you, you included them in the process. That's transparency. A lot of people don't want to be transparent because they don't want to get the feedback. Feedback is very important, good or bad. I want to hear it all. Tell me what I'm doing, right? If it's good, thank you. If it's not so good, let me know. I'm not going to get an attitude with you because that gives me the opportunity to go back to the drawing board, either tweak, twerk, or whatever, revisit that and be able to reintroduce it, right? And go back to that particular customer. Thank you so much for being candid and honest with me about how I am training you. I didn't, you know, and then that'll make them like, oh, wow, she cares about me, right? That's transparency, right? And number 5, it's going to allow you to, it's going to allow your customers to have access, right? Access to you is going to allow your customers to be able to be so involved that you'll be giving them updates about what's coming out. You see what I'm saying? They won't have to hear it from the mainstream. They already know. I'm so connected to it. I can pick up the phone and call Dr. McKenzie. Dr. McKenzie, what you got going on? And guess what? They'll advertise before you even advertise. Mm-hmm. Word of mouth, right? Because now they trust you. Yeah. Makes sense? They trust you now. And when they trust you, you're not selfish. You're not just thinking about I call it the I syndrome, honey. I see it all the time. I. You won't let people get close enough to pass off or delegate some things that they can do, right? You're building their strength and working on your weaknesses, right? It makes everyone happy. It makes your employees happy. It makes your customers happy. So now everybody feel a part of the process. So when you do start expanding, just imagine how people feel when they feel like they've contributed to your elevation into your process. They will always stay connected to you. So those are 5 things that I had about transparency. If you ain't transparent, look, I need you to go back and evaluate and start being more transparent. Let your customers know what's going on. Let them know what they can expect from you and what they can't expect from you. And I promise you, when you do that, you'll start having more loyal customers. You'll have more loyal employees. You'll have a more effective and well-ran business.
Yeah, and I think too, when like you said at the beginning, you as the entrepreneur, you as the business owner, you set the expectation. You Absolutely. Set it. So when you are transparent in your expectations, then they can't say, I did not Absolutely. Know. That's not what I know. Here it is in black and white. This is what we told you.
Absolutely.
This is what even when it's business to business, being transparent Absolutely. And setting the expectation. You should set the expectation as well as whoever it is that you're doing, the other business right. or your business partner. When you set those expectations, so there's no misunderstanding about it. Everybody is clear. Right. Everybody is understanding of what they can be on the same page moving forward. That's powerful. I like that. That's good stuff. So yeah, see, this is what we're gonna have April 30th. I'm just saying. Y'all
it's just a snippet.
Just a little snippet. Of the things that we're doing, creating and developing a 5-star customer service system. That's what we're helping you to be able to do in this workshop. Absolutely. You will come away with those systems that you can implement right away. I promise you, you'll be able to, you will be able to implement, and you'll be able to get a copy of the because it's going to be recorded. You'll be able to get a copy of the recording. You'll also be able to get a copy of the PowerPoints that I know that Tonia's going to have, that I'm going to have, for you to be able to take away and not just use it, have it for that day. You'll be able Absolutely. To have this to go back and look over it again and again and again, because as we all know, your employees are going to change. So you're going to have a guide for how you train them or what you Absolutely. Show them. to make sure that they're
Absolutely.
on the same page and they have a clear understanding
Mhm.
of what it is that they expect, and then what you what the customers that you deal with can expect. So when you have that,
Absolutely.
you don't have any misunderstandings about what
Absolutely.
you do. So Tonia, did you have any closing words that
Yes,
you want
and
to give to the people?
well, I'm just excited about the workshop, and I hope you guys are too. This is just a snippet of what we're going to do. When you come to the workshop, it's going to be very intense, but it's going to be fun because I'm a fun person. I don't like to do nothing boring and dead. Well, you know that, Mr. You know, God, if you can't come with a sense of humor and learn at the same time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm a very fun person, but I believe in meeting people exactly where they are. I believe in training people from a common sense approach. I'm going to break it down so that you can get it and you can retain it, because the easier is broken down in simplified form, right? We're not coming up with all these big old words, you know what I'm saying? We can say some words,
Right.
but we want to make sure that you're going to gain and retain the information that we give you so that you can go back and implement. That's the key. We could talk all day, but if you don't go back and implement, right, you're missing out on the opportunity to increase the profit potential and the success of your business. And not only your business, you as well as your employees. Everybody wants something and everybody want to feel a certain way. It's all about the experience. And I'm also going to throw in a copy of my customer service. It's a workbook, right? I'm not going to give you the hard copy, but I'm going to give you the PDF copy where you can go back and it's a training manual that you can train your employees on. So I'm going to throw that in there too. So that people have a guideline. It's a structure. It's a training manual, structure on how to actually train themselves and be able to foster those relationships that they need to foster with their employees to make sure that everybody is happy and whole in the organization. Because I do believe in work-life balance, home-life balance. All of that can be accomplished, right? Because we spend a lot of time in our business and at our jobs, and we can still be happy. But we got to make sure we have the right process in place. We got to make sure we have everything lined up so everybody will get exactly what they're looking for out of that endeavor. And that's all I have. I want to see you guys at the workshop. If you guys hadn't registered yet, I encourage you to register, because guess what? Dr. Leroy Mckenzie, all the way from where, Mr. Mckenzie?
From Baltimore, Maryland. You know what it is.
Baltimore, Maryland, baby. He's going to do it. We're going to have a doctor in the house.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we want to see you all. You can go register. You can go to https bit.ly/3 S's in Sam, 2 R's in Robert, L as in Leroy, and W as in walk, and then 7. That's https://bit.ly/3 S's in Sam, 2 R's in Robert, L as in let go, and W as in walk, and 7, the number 7. So we look forward to seeing you all on April the 30th. It's going to be a fun time, as Tonia said, because it's not just about giving people stuff. This is going to be what we talk about.
Right.
This is what we talk about customer service. It's going to be an experience. As entrepreneurs, you want your customers, clients, to each time that they encounter you or your business or your brand, it's about an experience. What experience are you giving to your customers? So we want to thank y'all for tuning in today. Register. I'll have the link in the comment section as well again too. But we look forward to seeing you all on April the 30th. It's gonna be fun, y'all. Y'all gonna come away with, like I said, y'all gonna come away with those tools to be able to create a 5-star customer service system. So my name is Dr. Leroy Mckenzie Jr. It's 2022, as I said, y'all. It's building season. You're building your customer service. It's building season, y'all. So it's time to go. We're gonna make y'all better by the end of the 2022 than you were at the beginning. So let's go. This is the one of the ways that we do it. So we'll talk to y'all soon.
All right. Bye.